Welcome to another episode of Catching Up with Katie. We're in a little bit of a different location, which I guess is new for us because we had a location, and then last week we were in Tulsa, and this week we actually have people staying in our Airbnb, so we got kicked out, but that's okay. We are out on the porch of the Airbnb, but let me know if you like us changing up the destination. I think it might be cool. On Catching Up with Katie, we basically just kind of have a little catch-up segment about what's happened in the last week, and we also sometimes do Q&A questions from Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all those things, and sometimes we just pick topics to talk about. So my lovely co-host Abigail Webb over here, would you like to start us off?
How about you start us off with the recap?
The recap?
Yep.
I mean, from the last one, which was in Tulsa, we had already said that, I don't even think we talked about Pico being born.
We did a little bit, I think, because I think we did it on Saturday night, and he was born Friday night.
So Pico has been definitely like the highlight of the week, just seeing him be the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then the rest has just been kind of like, you know, getting back at the swing of things, not being out of town. I don't really think anything crazy's happened this week. The only thing is, like, we have a bunch of people in town right now due to the fact that Tennessee has a velvet hunt, so that means like a really early season deer hunt for just one weekend. So a lot of our out of town friends are here hunting and staying with us, and that's a really fun time. So other than that, I don't really think there's anything going on. No. Buzz got a buck apron. Yeah. He's been trying to wiener his mom. So that's the only other thing. Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about books.
Books?
We're going to talk about books.
That's the topic?
That is the topic.
So that's another thing. I never know what we're going to freaking talk about. Like, they scheme, and they come up with their questions and their topics, and I'm just left in the dark. So
we've got a surprise in store.
Jeez.
That I'm going to ask you about later. But I guess if you want to just talk about, like, I don't know, like, we've kind of touched on this before.
So you tell me the topic, and then I just have to talk about it?
Yes. I say the topic, and then you make 20 minutes of conversation about it.
Well, okay. I think what everyone started talking about books is because in the last one we had mentioned we made Nate read a nasty book through 100 pages.
Spicy book.
It was a little nasty. I refuse to tell you which book it was. Everyone wants to know. I will not be subjected to that judgment. I'm so sorry. Some things are meant to be private. So no, you will not find out. You can speculate in the comments, but you will not get any kind of confirmation. But yeah, I mean,
he did finish his 100 pages.
He did.
And
he was horrified.
I saw someone wanted like a quick like review of what you thought of it. If you want to say really quick your thoughts on the 100 pages.
Did you learn anything?
I didn't learn anything. I didn't like reading it. It was gross, and it made me feel weird, and I was in public.
Did you feel weird, huh? In public?
No.
Like, me and Abigail are just sitting there reading it, blank faces, not
just casually.
I'm over there.
He's just like, we look over and he's like,
it's just vile, vile words. They said.
Stop.
I didn't like it. I
don't know if we can leave this in there. All right. Well, that's not the only type of books. I want to clear that up. Like, sure, we have like a little, like, me, Abigail, my best friend Rebecca, who we would love to have on here chatting one day. We all read like the same books at the same time sometimes, and then have something to talk about. And sometimes it's like not necessarily for the education or gaining anything. It's
entertainment.
Yes. So yeah, I don't only read that though. I really do like I was big on Aragon growing up, big on like the Harry Potter series and like things like that. Like, so I like fantasy, and I like it to be like another world. I don't really like reading about anything, like if they mention a cell phone, done for me. I don't love it. So like a big series we both like is ACOTAR. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like a huge like thing right now.
Which you haven't finished.
No. I keep getting distracted. I need to finish the third one because then we're going to do... That's my homework before we go to the Congress. Mm-hmm. Because when we drive to the Congress, we're going to do the audiobook on the way there. Because we have like a 5-hour drive. Of the...
Court of Silver Flames?
Of Nesta and Cassian's book.
Yeah.
So like I like that kind of stuff. Obviously that one does have romance and like a spice to it. But like it's not... That's not the whole book.
I would say that's probably what most people read it for, though.
But it's because the spice is so good in that, though, because there's so many, like, there is a plot and there is a world.
There's other stuff leading up to it. It's not just, like, yeah. I like the world building in it.
Like, if a book comes with a map.
Right.
It's going to be a good one.
But I feel like the TV show or movie or whatever they're making is going to ruin it.
Probably. I'll probably get so mad just because of who they cast. Like, there's no way they cast who I'm thinking in my head. But I'm also probably not thinking of an actual human in my head.
Who would you pick for... I say Rysand. I know that's not how you pronounce it or how you're supposed to pronounce it. But Rhys just doesn't sound manly to me.
I don't know. There's been some... Here's the thing. I've seen some people that I'd be like, that's Rysand. But... like, they might not be good actors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's yours?
I'm not going to say, because you're going to...
Is it Jacob Elordi?
Yes!
Jesus!
He would be
he would
good.
Not.
Yes, he would.
He's not. He is nowhere near Rysand.
In my head, he is.
First off,
in
Rysand,
my head, he is.
First off, he's white.
Okay.
He's not, like, Rysand's not white.
Well, he's, like, tan. He's, like... he's, like, tan white. My other pick... my first pick, actually. My first thought was Timothée Chalamet. Because when I read it... Don't
come at me with that.
When I read it, I pictured... I know, maybe not following the description... Like, the fan art that I've seen of him doesn't match what I had in my head at all. I pictured him with kind of, like, longer, curly hair. And that's what Timothée Chalamet gives. So...
Timothée Chalamet is... I don't even want you to, like, say that to me ever again.
He doesn't have the build for it.
Or the face, or the voice.
His facial structure
is... The voice for Rysand.
I think he has a nice voice.
Abigail,
I wouldn't say that it matches... No, we don't.
We have different tastes in men.
Those are... Yeah, we do. We do.
That's what I'm saying.
Those are my two, like, celebrity crushes, and yours is Henry Cavill.
And that's the thing. I don't even think Henry Cavill is Rysand. A lot of people put him as that. He's too old now.
Yeah.
But maybe Henry Cavill in The Tudors. You didn't watch that.
No.
Like, you'd like that, I think. Henry Cavill in The Tudors was, like, 2010.
I don't even know. I don't
like late
know
20s
who
Henry
I would
Cavill.
pick. Because, like, yes, I like those two, but I don't know that they would be the perfect fit for him.
I do think Henry Cavill's voice is Rysand.
What about Lucian? Or is it Lucian or Lucian?
I say Lucian.
I say Lucian. I say everything wrong.
Like, whenever I talk to, like, I'll talk to Rebecca about, like, the books we've been reading and how she says their names versus how I say them. It's so different. I mean, that's just...
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. But... Okay, so what's your favorite book series? I feel like we like the same types of books, but you like mysteries.
I do. I like thrillers.
Real quick, I want to take a second to talk about this video sponsor, Thermacell. So since we're outside, we have to battle the pesky mosquitoes, and none of that is fun. So Thermacell is here to help with that and make your outdoor experience so much more enjoyable. Thermacell repels mosquitoes in air, not on your skin. No need for unpleasant sprays or lotions to be actually on your skin. It's people and pet friendly, portable and travel friendly, and they guarantee your satisfaction. For me, my love of Thermacell started off in the woods. We took their portable products into the woods hunting, and it would keep the mosquitoes off of us so we could actually enjoy being in the outdoors. And now we can do that in the comfort of our patio, our porch, with our families, when we're wanting to sit out here and watch nature, when we're wanting to be around the animals. It's perfect. It is amazing. And if you would like to shop, you can go to that link in my description. I never want to bamboozle anyone, so this is sponsored. I do get a commission if you shop through my link, but it'll make your outdoor experience very enjoyable. Can't say enough good things about it. Now back to catching up with Katie.
I wouldn't say that any of those are like my favorite though, because I like series because I feel like you can get really like into it and it draws it out. I really liked From Blood and Ash, which was, I think, something that came out in a similar time to ACOTAR, or at least became popular at like the same time with like book talk and everything. You haven't read that, have you?
Mm-mm.
You would like it. It's kind of the same, but in like a little more tamer, I would say, in that way.
In that way, yeah.
In that way.
It's not all about that.
But like the plot is really good. I don't know if all those are done coming out though. There's like 6 of them, I think. So I don't know if I have a favorite.
I've heard Throne of Glass is really slow to get into.
I haven't read it. I've heard people say that when they read ACOTAR first, they didn't like
Throne of Glass?
Throne of Glass as much because they're written by the same author.
Well, you said we were talking about books.
I want you to talk about your book.
How dare you? That was in the confidence of a Texas Airbnb. I've written a couple, never finished, and I will not tell you where they are available to read because
You probably guessed.
they're still on the internet. I was in high school. I actually do like writing. Like, I've always felt like that was something I felt good at, and I feel like putting my thoughts on paper is decently easy to me. And back when I was reading a lot, I felt like, you get kind of words in your head from other authors, and it kind of gives you more ideas. I think it'd be a lot harder for me to get back into it right now when all I've been reading is just like terrible writing. But yeah, I did do a couple of books.
Can you just like give us just like the gist of one of them?
It's so embarrassing.
So
so embarrassing.
I think people will like it.
Mind you, I was 16 and 17.
It's not embarrassing. I feel like it's cool that you wrote anything.
I forgot, honestly, what they were titled as, but I know what the plot was. So, the first one was about a girl who her father was a scientist and was working on time travel. I'm sure that it was not laid out well, okay? And she accidentally time traveled and went back to whatever year the Hatfield and McCoy's feud was happening. I'm sure you can imagine this was when the Hatfield and McCoy's miniseries had come out, and I was obsessed with John Z. Hatfield, okay? Like, it's a whole thing. Well, she goes there. She, tries to find civilization. She winds up on the McCoy side of things. And then there's she falls in love, whatever. Well, then her best friend had, found out what she did. Her best friend also time travels to go save her. I think she tells her dad or something, and her dad's like, you have to go. You have to be the one to do it.
Why didn't he go?
I don't know. Because then there wouldn't be the love story, okay?
Okay.
Because then her best friend travels to go save her, lands on the Hatfield side of things, okay? Then she finds somebody, falls in love. I never got past really that.
Okay.
Okay? So then, the more complex book that I wrote, and I don't even remember how many chapters I got into it.
This is the one that I know about. I didn't even know about the other one.
So this one, I think I named it or something like that, because that was her name.
It's brave. You're putting the title out.
Oh, shoot. No.
Leave it in.
No.
Leave it in.
Please. Please.
Leave it in.
Please. You have to bleep it. You have to bleep it. You have to bleep
Is it under your name or is it under like a ghost
I think it's
name?
I think it's a pseudonym. I think
Okay,
I had a
okay.
pseudonym, but still. So, this other one, I was very proud of the thought process because I put a lot of time into it. I used to make my friends at high school, like, I would write a chapter and then send it to them and they had to read it and we'd talk about it at school, okay? I was, like, such a little nerd.
Proud
and
of
so
it at the
annoying.
time.
I was very proud of it at the time. Again, I didn't finish it. I was a little quitter. But the concept was the main character is a demon in hell. And in hell, there are, like demons that have lives and like emotions and all of this stuff, and they are being like raised by Lucifer as his army to go to and again, this is totally fiction. This isn't anything about like my religious beliefs, but like I'm a Christian, but there was a redemption for these demons, okay? So they were being like raised up, and it was almost like I was very much into like Vampire Academy and things like that. It was almost like their initiation, their graduation into like being demons, okay? They're given a mate. They're given a human on Earth to possess. They're given a like, you're going here to screw all this up, basically.
Yeah.
And so it follows her story of going to, Earth, possessing someone. There's like a bunch of different point of views in it. But then, like, she has her mate. Like, there's like that process of it. There's her fighting with, like, she doesn't feel evil. She doesn't want, like, she feels for this person that she's being, like, called to possess. And then there's like angels that come into it, and there's like a redemption arc for her.
It
like,
sounds good.
Yeah.
Like, I would read it.
So I never finished it. Like, I never got like super far into it, but like,
Was there like
there's a love triangle.
spice in it?
There was a love. Yes. There. Have I not read it to you? I thought I read it to you.
I think you
I
read
read,
like
like,
a
2
little
pages.
excerpt to me.
It was, yeah. There's, because she like, her best friend ends up being her mate, but then she falls in love with an angel, but she like has love for her mate, but her mate isn't wanting to come to the good side, and there's all this different. Yeah. So I'm just a little weirdo.
Kinda
Okay.
Good.
I'm just a little weirdo.
People would like to read it.
No.
So is that one finished or no?
No, none of them are finished. It's sad.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could put myself back into my 17-year-old mind to finish it in the same way. Y'all are bringing up memories from a time that I've forgotten about.
Have you seen, like, I don't know what the websites are called, or if there is a specific website, but I saw, like, a Brittany Broski video where, like, she was reading fan fiction that people had, like, gone on the internet and, like, written about her. Have you ever found any of that, like, about yourself?
No.
You haven't? I wonder if there's any out there.
Is there any Katie Vance like fan fiction? No.
I don't know.
100%.
There will be now.
100% not.
There will be now.
There's a fan fiction about me and Jonathan.
But it was like completely unserious. Like, it was satire, obviously. But I don't know. I just am interested if there would be anything out there.
I doubt
about
it.
You.
I doubt it highly.
Well, would you read it if there was?
I'd give it a try.
I'd give it a go.
I'd give it a go. I don't know if I could stick with it. I mean, my feet are getting a little warm.
Mine are too.
In the sun.
He was right about the light moving up.
For sure. Have you ever written a book, by the way?
I have not.
Nathan?
I know Nate has probably.
I've started books.
I've dabbled.
I've dabbled in books. More of a movie guy.
Yeah.
For his birthday, he just made a short film. That's just pulled one out, edited it, shot it, wrote it.
I got some questions from people that were on the Jammy Talk.
Mm-hmm. I liked the Jamie Talk. It was fun.
Yeah, I liked it too. Someone asked, what do you mean when you say hunter under saddle? I assume you mean English.
Yeah, it is English. And it is a class that is based on the horse. So horse's movement, horse's ability to, like, okay, so what you're gonna do on this horse, and the rider can look terrible. It's not gonna make the whole picture look great, but it's not based on the rider. It's based on how the horse moves, on the obedience, because the announcer is gonna ask you to walk, trot, and canter, reverse, back up, all those things. And you have to do it when the announcer says, and then the judge gets that time to, look at your horse, analyze its movement, place the horses that are in front of them. And so it is the equivalent of Western pleasure on the English spectrum. So it is usually what a lot of the hunters, like that go into the working hunter and the jumping stuff, might start off in the hunter under saddle, or they might start, because they have a working hunter under saddle too, which is more for like jumpers. But yeah, it's a class that is based on the horse's movement. So most horses, like I said in that last video, that go on to do the all-around, that go on to do the Western riding and horsemanship and equitation, they start off in either Western pleasure or hunter under saddle. It's a good basics class, basically.
Okay. So when you were riding Denver, I had a lot of comments, questions about how he was moving, I guess. A lot of comments about, why is it so slow? Why do you want their head down more? I guess if you want to talk about.
So the thing about Western pleasure, it gets a lot of hate. It just does. That's an unfortunate piece of it. In every discipline, there are going to be trainers that do it incorrectly, force a horse that is not talented in that event to do it, which makes it look terrible. And then there's just, people being uneducated as far as what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I never want when people, now some people get hateful, and I'll be like, blocked. But I'll never shy away from people's educated, or I'll never shy away from people's actual want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So with Denver, is he a finished show horse? No, that's not how he's supposed to look in the class. Do I love how every Western pleasure horse lopes around at the highest level? No, I really don't. But Western pleasure, whether people like it or not, is a very good base for a horse. It teaches them how to use every part of their body. It is so taxing on them. Like it is so, they need to be so athletic to go slow. And you wouldn't think that. They need to have so many muscles, need to be so fit to go that slow, and not even just go slow. Slow is just the difficulty of it. You want to go slow with a deep, balanced top line. The ones winning are not the ones with their heads dragging the ground, whether you like it or not. Like, if you actually look at them, they have a level top line. In a lot of the video of me on Denver, his head is level. It's not even like dragging the ground like people like to say. A lot of people just have a hatred for that sport, and they're going to hate it regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So Western pleasure as a whole was started to be a pleasure to ride, to be slow and easy and comfortable. And then, just like any other discipline, people started competing with it and then breeding for it. And so the Western pleasure horse characteristically should be comfortable rocking back on its hock to have this super deep drive, light front end, balanced top line, and should be able to go around at a slow, collected lope on a draped rein. Same for the jog. I do get angry at horse shows sometimes that the jog is not a jog. They are like, I showed you that at the Congress. So many of the horses were like walking. I'm like, what the heck? Have a 2-beat. Kick them up 1 notch and it looks so good, So Denver, at this point in his training, does not look like he should. He is perfect for where he's at. Like, we are wanting him to be a Western riding horse, a trail horse. But if you don't like the Western pleasure lope, that's totally fine. If you don't like it, like there's other disciplines I don't like watching. I'm not going to tell you have to like this discipline. But to call it unnatural, I mean, is dressage natural? Is making a horse fly around a barrel natural? Is making a horse jump 4 feet natural? you can argue till you're blue in the face about any discipline. So, I would encourage people to have an open mind. These horses are strong. They are really getting a good foundation for the rest of their career in other classes. What's crazy is I've had people get on my Western Pleasure show horses or whatever, and they have been so against it until they get on that horse and they realize how trained they are and how good they are at moving every part of their body and how fit they are. And so, I would just say I'm okay if you don't like it. I don't encourage you to automatically write it off and say how horrible it is.
Yeah.
Until you have experience with it, because it can be really beautiful if you know what you're looking for and you're watching a horse that's bred for it, talented at it, and someone riding them correctly. I can't say that everyone does that correctly at every level, I can't say if you go to a horse show on the weekend that all the pleasure horses at that show are going to look great and be a good example, but
Last comment, not really question, but someone said the lack of helmets on everyone in that ring gives me anxiety. They are also pretty, though.
Helmets are a really good tool. I wear a helmet when I'm riding in the English. I'm going to wear a helmet if I'm jumping. I'm going to wear a helmet. Like, I broke a 2-year-old out a couple years ago and never wore a helmet, but there are some 2-year-olds I would wear a helmet getting on. Like, and that's the thing you got to think about is, yes, my kids are going to wear helmets when they're growing up. My best friend's kids always wear a helmet. Like, she's going to show Annie soon, and she's going to wear a helmet in the Western.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally fine, and I think it should happen. But as you become an adult, you just kind of, like, there are things that you kind of know are dangerous, but
Yeah. And people, I think I saw a few comments on some of my videos from, like, not my videos, some of the videos of me riding Bo, and people were asking why I wasn't wearing one. And I just kind of, like, I don't know, because it's Bo.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you trust him enough that you're teaching me on him.
Can always happen.
Yeah.
Something could always happen, but do you wear a helmet in your car? Do you, I mean,
Yeah.
there's things that can happen all the time, and someone's going to get on to me about that explanation. But I would say, yes, children should wear them. Beginners should wear them if they are on horses that are also beginners or if they feel comfortable wearing them. I'm going to say if you're a full-grown adult, you can make that decision.
Yeah.
At the horse shows, we don't show with helmets on. And so it just, it's kind of turned into something that I would never judge someone for wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
Literally ever. It's just something that I got out of the habit of, and anything can happen. There's not really a good answer for it other than it's like me wearing flip-flops to the barn. Do I know it's dumb? Probably.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep
I think
doing
you just
it.
also trust your horses enough, and know them enough.
I feel like
you feel
I know that there
comfortable.
is a chance, but I know that the chance is low.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, there would be, like you could say for a lot of things, I think. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was different. The book topic was a good idea, even though there's going to be so many people being like, what are these books?
I think a lot of people will have read them.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that have read the nasty book too, but we're not telling them.
Yeah. You can guess.
But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any more questions or topics or guests or whatever that you would like to see in the next one. We love doing these Catching Up with Katie's weekly now. It's been a really, really fun thing to implement into our schedule and just sitting down and chatting. So hope you enjoyed that. There's flies everywhere. It's so hot. See you in the next one.